Hey everybody, this is Coach Eric Brozer. We are here live from the Dragon's Lair, and this of course is Merlin's Mind Over Muscle. I am very happy to introduce Keeanna de la Hoya. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. She's been my client for the past several months. We've been getting her ready for the Cutler Las Vegas Classic, which is in about a week and a half. So she's really, really close. Of course, she's doing women's bodybuilding. No, I'm kidding. She's doing bikini. She's a little small for that. Today, we're going to do a little arm workout, a little hamstring workout. I'm going to use a bunch of different techniques with her to push her a little bit harder today than normal. So we want to challenge her a little bit. So I think you'll enjoy the show. And then after the show, we'll do a little quick interview with her, talk about her plans after the show and what her future goals are. So let's get out to the gym and let's get started. Okay guys, so we're going to do some supersetting when I do the arms today. We're starting off with a superset of incline curls from the high cable. And what we're going to be doing with these is we're going to be holding the contracted position for 4 full seconds before she releases it back to the top. And we're going to superset this with the general straight bar push down. We're not going to use any special techniques on that one, just good, strict, solid form. We're looking somewhere between about 10 and 15 reps on both exercises. Okay. All right, so you see she's laying back on an incline bench, set at about maybe 50 degrees. Her arms are out straight. And she's gonna bring it in. She's gonna hold for a count of 4. She's counting down 4 full seconds in her head. Controlled release to the top. Fully straightened arms so we get a full range of motion. And she's gonna really squeeze those biceps at the bottom. So in other words, she's not just going to hold the weight there, she's actually gonna actively squeeze the biceps as well. The angle of the bench on this movement can actually be changed a little bit. You can go a little bit even more steep and bring it back a little bit for a little bit of a longer curl. This will work well today because she's kind of a little petite. So her arms aren't that long, so this works really well for a full range of motion. Now this movement not only works the biceps, but because her arms are up, her elbows are up and away from her torso, that slackens the biceps a little bit and pulls a lot of the brachialis into play for those who are looking to really build big arms. Of course, she doesn't want big arms. She wants really well-toned arms because she's bikini. Good. As you can see, 1 rep after the other looks exactly the same. Same control, same holds. Good. Good, and notice how she's keeping the elbows right here. You don't want to let them drop down. That full contraction, squeeze. Starting to shake a little bit, which means it's starting to get hard. Good control on the eccentric movement. Good, I'm going to do 1 more after this. Squeeze all the way out. Very nice. Now we go into tricep push down. I'm going to take the 5 off. So the form on these, the main thing she wants to make sure to do, keeping those elbows close to the sides and keeping them locked in position. She does not want to raise them up away from her torso. You see you've got really nice development here in the triceps into the shoulder. We're not using any special techniques on this one. She's just going to hold the bottom for a second just to get a good contraction. There's no movement in her torso. She's just bent slightly forward. But she's not swinging the weight at all. She's making sure she's using pure triceps power to squeeze it down. She's working real hard and keeping those elbows in place. Good. Come on, Keeanna. Week and a half. Push. Good. We're going to do 3 good reps now. Here we go. Squeeze it down. 1, Control. Squeeze it down. 2, one more. And last one, and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Excellent, control it. And back to the top. And the first superset is complete. Good job. Okay, so for the second superset, we're gonna be doing what I call a Merlin incline push out, which is sort of a combination or a hybrid between a push down and a tricep extension. So we're just laying here on an incline bench, and as you'll see, rather than doing a push down, she's not gonna be pushing this weight out. So it's sort of like in between the two. And what she's gonna do is she's gonna hold the contracted position for 4 full seconds so we get a really good squeeze in the triceps. Then she's gonna just sit right up and she's gonna go to standard alternating dumbbell curl to hit the biceps. Really good superset. Okay, you see where her elbows are? They're right by her sides. And she's not gonna push down, she's gonna push out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeps the elbows in place. Comes back to full stretch. Back out, squeeze. Yep, watch those elbows. The elbows always want to come back out of place, but you gotta hold them there. That's part of using the triceps during the eccentric with a negative phase. Push out and hold. And she's trying to really flex the triceps as hard as she can. This is a very, very difficult movement with this technique. Again, you could play with the angle of the bench a little bit. You could also play with the height of the pulley. It gives you a slightly different feeling in the triceps. Depending on how you do it, you could switch it set to set or workout to workout, but give different angles a try. Because we're using a pulley on the movement, obviously we have constant tension during the negative, the positive, and the contracted position. Good. It takes a lot of discipline to keep those elbows in place and force the triceps to do the work. A lot of people do a quick push out and they start to use the shoulders, maybe even the chest. Good, we're gonna do a few more. Keeanna looks very, very calm, but actually she's hurting. I could tell this is hard. Breathe. Think about your triceps. Squeeze it out, lock it. Good. She's holding those contracted positions for 4 full seconds. She's doing a good job with that. Squeeze it out, lock. We'll do 2 more. Get those elbows in place, fight it. Push. Good. 1 more controlled rep. Control it. Elbows stay in place. Full stretch and push. Squeeze. 4, 3, 2, 1. Control it back, and then I'll take it from you. Nice. Okay. Now she's going to go right into seated alternating dumbbell curl. She's going to make sure to fully supinate, so when she comes to the top, the palm is literally facing right at her. Good. Keeping the elbows close to the body. Not really swinging her torso or leaning back at the top. Making sure that, again, she's only engaging the biceps. Doing a bicep to tricep or tricep to bicep supersets is an excellent way to work the arms. Obviously, you can get more done in less time, and you bring a very, very large volume of blood into the upper arm at the same time. Also, another interesting thing is that when you work the antagonistic muscle, like a bicep to tricep or a chest to back, and you work them back and forth, it actually helps the other muscle recover. So in other words, her triceps are getting extra recovery now by working the biceps, and vice versa. Come on, a few more. Raise it up. Good. Getting a good twist to the top. Good control. Squeeze, good. Turn, squeeze, good. And you can see she's controlling the whole rep. She's not letting those dumbbells drop to the bottom. We're not accentuating the eccentric on this, but she's controlling it. Excellent. Up. Good, let's get 2 more with each arm. Ease it up. Same control. Ease it up. Good. Finish up. Nice. Good job, Keeanna. Good. Excellent. Okay guys, so we're gonna go into our third superset for arms. The first movement is going to be a standard standing barbell curl, but I'm gonna have her do something called 1.5 reps. So you'll see that she's gonna curl all the way to the top. She's gonna lower only halfway under control, curl back to the top, and then lower all the way to the bottom. That will be counted as 1 full rep. After we kill her with that, we're gonna do a basic seated overhead dumbbell tricep extension. We're not gonna use any techniques on that particular movement. We're just gonna use good strict form and just about go to muscular failure. Again, another great superset for the arms. Okay. So she's gonna make sure she's standing up straight, shoulders are back, full range, down halfway, and curl back to the top. Now all the way to the bottom, she's gonna get a full range of motion. You can see there's no body swing, there's no body motion, no momentum being used. She's just using biceps power, which whether you're a bodybuilder, figure, fitness, physique, I don't care what you are, that's the way you do your reps. You use the muscle that you intend on targeting. Of course, when you get to the end of a set, you might want to get a couple of cheat reps. If you're a bodybuilder, that's okay, but don't do that throughout the whole set. This 1.5 rep technique that she's using, I should mention, could also be done the other way, where you do the first half of the movement and then go down and then do a full rep. But today we're doing this way. We're doing this technique where we go all the way to the top, go halfway back to the top, kind of getting like a double contraction. This brings about a really, really good burn in the biceps. So if you normally curl, I don't know, 80-pound barbell, I'd say for 10 reps, when you're doing this technique, you'd probably be somewhere more around 60 pounds. Just controls it halfway. Good. See, she keeps adjusting herself, making sure she's keeping the shoulders back, because sometimes they want to come forward. Sometimes the elbows want to come forward. If you find yourself doing that, just adjust during the set, correct yourself. That is a little bit low. All the way down. A couple more. Up. Another one about halfway, so about here. Squeeze. There you go. Down. We'll do 2 more good ones. Here we go. Up, halfway, bring it up, squeeze, good, 1 more good one. No body swing, all biceps. Boom, squeeze and control it nicely on the way down. Excellent, now let's do tricep extension. Grab it however you're comfortable. Key to this movement is the elbows stay in. Do not let them start moving away from being right on the sides of your head. Otherwise, you're gonna start pressing the weight rather than doing an extension motion. Also, I'd like to mention that movements like this, where the elbows are up by the sides of the head, will work the long head of the tricep most strongly. And the long head of the tricep is actually the biggest portion of the tricep. So make sure in your tricep workouts that you're doing at least one exercise where your elbows are up by your head. That's what gives you that real sweep under the arms, especially for bodybuilders doing a front double bicep. You get that low tricep sweep. Again, she's controlling the movement all the way to the bottom, using only tricep power to push to the top, not pressing it at all. Just extending, squeezing, and we're gonna do 3 more. Here we go. Here's where it gets tough. Push, 1, control, full stretch, 2, 1 more, full stretch, push. Good, excellent, good job. Okay guys, so we did a little arm workout there, and of course we don't have to do that much arms for Keeanna because she's, again, bikini. It's not like she needs massive arms. So we're gonna go into hamstrings now, which is a little bit more important for her. And we're gonna start off with a basic lying leg curl, but the technique I'm gonna have her use on the first set is basically eccentric emphasis, which means the negative portion of the rep. And she's gonna come to the top, she's gonna hold for 1 second at the top, and then she's gonna start a 4-second descent on every rep. So 4-second negatives on every single set. Negatives is one of the most potent muscle builders for everybody out there because negative reps tear down a lot of muscle tissue, cause a lot of fiber trauma. That of course has to be rebuilt into bigger muscle. So here we go with Keeanna. She'll come to the top, squeeze, and then 4 seconds. 4, 3, 2, she's going a little slower than 4 seconds. That was probably about 7 seconds. I know. But that's better than most people who only do 2 seconds. So come down, 4, 3, 2, 1, and good. So we'll say she's doing about 5 seconds, which is fine with me. This is the kind of control that I want to see. Good. Just do everyone just like that, Keeanna. You're doing great. So of course, the positive rep, the concentric rep is extremely important, but even more important are these negative reps. So in your training in general, I suggest for everybody that they should start incorporating more eccentric emphasis into their training. You'll gain a lot more muscle that way. There you go. And then of course, these are much more difficult than doing normal reps where you just let it go to the bottom. And that's what most people do. They just go to the top and they just release and let it go right to the bottom. There's so much tension that can be built there in the eccentric rep, and she's using it. Also, you're stronger in the eccentric than you are on the positive. That's also just how the human body works. So if you ever wanted to do pure negative sets, you can actually do that with the help of some spotters. Good, she's doing great. That's it. Nice and slow, all the way down. Come on, Keeanna, squeeze up. She's actually doing better than I thought she was gonna do. He's good. Up, squeeze. Probably could have gone a little bit heavier. That's okay. Squeeze up. Excellent. Now we're going to do 3 reps. So up, slow, slow, a little tense. 2 more. Up. Feel the hamstrings, and when you do these slow negatives, feel the muscle lengthening and stretching. Last one. These also make you very, very sore. Good, Keeanna. Done. You did more reps than I thought you were going to do. Oh. I'm very surprised. Okay. Okay, guys, so she just did the first set doing negatives. She did an amazing job. I should have gone a little heavier, but now we're going to switch techniques, and we're going to actually hold the contracted position again, which is really, really great on leg curl movements because the contracted position, you really, really feel there's a lot of tension there. And I just talked to her about it, and I said, don't just hold the weight in place, but actively squeeze, contract the muscle like you would if you were just squeezing the biceps with no weight in your hands or squeezing the hamstrings, because that's going to double the effect, and I call this hyper contracting. So hopefully we'll put the hurting on her. I put a little bit more weight on this time, so let's get going. Just going to hold and squeeze. Good, and then come down. So when think about training the hamstrings, Just think about it the same as you would as biceps. I mean, this would almost be equivalent to almost like a preacher curl for the biceps, or a machine curl where your arms are extended out in front. So think about it the same way. That same curl feeling. She's trying to really just come up to the top and squeeze tight. Excellent. And the reason why I use all these different techniques is because many of us get stuck in doing the same thing over and over again, whether it be the same exercises, the same reps, the same order of movements, and just the same way of doing the reps. But these different techniques challenge the muscles in different ways, challenges the nervous system, and with those challenges, your body has to overcome them. For us, that means building stronger muscle, bigger muscle, better muscle. Good. She's really, I could tell she's really squeezing tight. That's the difference between just holding it in place and actively squeezing. This is our first prep together that we've ever done for a show. And one of her biggest challenges, she has a really good upper body. Her biggest challenge was getting those legs tight and getting enough size and shape. I think we've accomplished a lot. Of course, we'll accomplish a lot more as we move along. I have high hopes for her at the Jay Cutler show. But as long as she looks her best and she beats her previous best, then she's already a winner. Here we go, squeeze it. Good. All right, Keeanna, let's get 3. Here we go. Squeeze tight. Yup. 2 more. Tight. Good, 1 more. Here we go, big squeeze. Up. Nice. Good job. Good job, good job. Okay, so for the second hamstring exercise, we're gonna use the basic seated leg curl, but I decided I'm gonna challenge Keeanna today with one of the probably more tough techniques it is to teach people, which is positive or concentric emphasis. That basically just means that she's gonna pull the weight towards her over 4 seconds. The reason why this is so difficult is because the human body is not meant to work that way. The human body wants to just move the weight from point A to point B, so it wants to just explode out of the top and just get that weight contracted as fast as possible. So she's gonna have to consciously slow it down right from the beginning and very slowly bring it in over 4 seconds. This is a very, very challenging technique. I actually think it's harder than the negatives, emphasizing those. Positive is very, very difficult, but give it a shot because it is a very awesome technique for muscle growth. Just takes a lot of concentration and focus, but she's gonna do it great. Okay, here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then control, but good to the top. See, what she's doing great, which most people don't do, is they usually jump out of the top really, really quick, and then they start slowing it down. But she's keeping it slow right from the beginning of the rep, which is the most important part of this. Because if you jump really quick, you'll end up halfway through the rep before you even start to slow it down. And of course, because we are not meant to move weight slowly, it's not the way we're built, she's obviously challenging her muscles and challenging her nervous system and also challenging her mind quite a bit. So you have to stay focused. See, on that rep, she kind of jumped out a little bit. She'll correct it on the next one because that's just the way the body wants to work, slow. But it's amazing. Usually when you use this technique, you have to go with much lighter weight. But if you do it for a while, you'll start to notice you're able to use almost as much weight as you normally used to use for just doing normal reps because you've built up that connection. There you go. So of course, this is the ultimate in not using any momentum at all to move the weight. This is the truest form of muscling the weight from point A to point B. And I always tell people to stop for a second at the top before they begin the pulling portion or the pushing portion, depending on the exercise. Because if you don't stop for a second, you usually tend to jump out really, really quick at the top. So you stop, you set yourself, and then you tell yourself, okay, I gotta go slow, and then you can do it much better. Again, she's using full range of motion. She's making sure she's getting a full contraction. Doing a great job. That's it. Stop. Be slow. Doing great. Your hamstrings are very strong. Come on. Stop for a second. Slow. Now it's starting to get tough. Good. We're gonna do 2 more good ones. Stop, set, slow. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. All the way to contractions. Good. One more time. And good. On the way up. Excellent set. Good job.
So go.
Okay, guys, so we did on the first set, as you saw, concentric or positive emphasis. On the second set, again, we're going to use contracted emphasis. Again, that's just really, really good for muscles like the hamstrings and the quads on these types of movements. There's a lot of tension at the bottom of the movement. So again, 4-second hold. She's going to squeeze tightly, using her mind as well, not just holding the weight in place. And we're going to get a really good set and destroy these hamstrings. Down, hold for 4 full seconds and squeeze. Control. Force that squeeze. Almost like you're thinking you're trying to get your heels to touch your rear end. That's how you're thinking. That's how hard you want to pull back. The whole idea of this kind of training is to force the muscles to do things that they are simply not used to doing. The idea behind building muscle is to make things harder on yourself, not easier. Powerlifters want to make things easier on themselves because they just want to move that weight from point A to point B in the form that they need to use, but they just want to get it there. They want to do it in the easiest way possible. But bodybuilders and athletes who want to build muscle, they want to make it harder on themselves. The harder it is on the muscle, the more damage you're going to cause, the more recovery has to take place, and that will mean more muscle is built. I don't use these techniques all the time with Keeanna because, again, she's not a bodybuilder. She's not looking to be massive, but she does need a certain level of development in the bikini class as well. But it has to be more subtle, toned, and well-shaped and proportionate. Today, of course, I just want to challenge her and I want to show you guys some techniques that you guys can hopefully bring into your own training. Make more progress, which is the whole point of our channel. Come on down, squeeze tight. Good. And in, squeeze tight. Good. Come on. Let's go. Big squeeze. Come on. Squeeze. Go again. Nice. Come on, Keeanna. Week and a half to go. 2 reps. 2 good ones for me. Come on. Big squeeze. Yep. Legs are shaking, which is definitely a good sign. Come on. Last one. Squeeze. That'll go. Nice. Good set. Okay. Good job. Okay, guys, we're going to finish up the day with another superset. I'm going to have her do stiff leg deadlifts here on a T-bar row, and I'll describe why as she's doing it. And then we're going to superset that with lying hip thrusters, but we can use one leg at a time. So this is gonna be sort of a hamstring glute type of superset, which of course is extremely important for any bikini competitor. Those areas gotta be tight, full, and complete, and it's a very tough superset, so here we go. Okay, so I'm having her do them here on this T-bar. If you notice the way the platform here is on T-bar, it sort of angles up from the floor and up, which puts the hamstrings in a position where they get a little bit more pull than if she was standing just on the floor. A lot of times when I have myself or my clients do regular stiff leg deadlifts, I'll actually put plates or a board under the front of the foot so that the front of the foot is raised up. This gives a little bit better pull on the hamstrings and a little bit better hamstring activation. So this machine kind of does that for us. And just the motion here with the T-bar, if you have a machine like this, kind of a unique feel to the stiff leg deadlifts. So when she does these, she's keeping her back straight. She's putting the glutes back out behind her to get that stretch. She's keeping a slight bend in the knees. She's only coming up about 2/3 of the way to keep the tension on the hamstrings. Give me 2 more. Okay, last one. Trying to keep the lower back out of it. Keep it all in the hamstrings. Good. Okay, let's take a couple of breaths. She's gonna go down to the pad here. And we're going to do single leg hip thrusts. Now, for you gals out there who do hip thrusts, or even guys, because guys will do them too, much more challenging to do them one leg at a time. If you're used to using, 225 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds doing hip thrusts, you're gonna use a lot less weight when doing the single leg version. There's a lot more stabilization involved. And of course, you're doing it unilaterally. So there's a little bit more concentration and focus, a little bit more nerve force going to the side of the body. This is a great movement for tightening those glutes. Now, as you can see, when she comes to the top, she's holding for a second. She's getting that contraction for a second. Sometimes I'll have people hold those contractions for 4 and 5 seconds at a time, but we've done enough of that work today, so I just wanted to grind out some good reps. She's only got 25 pounds on her. She told me she uses a 150-pound barbell when she does them 2 legs at a time. So as you can see, she's got to cut it way back to get a good solid 15 reps. I don't know how many reps she's done so far, but she's getting close. When you have 15, you're done.
Fast.
Good, okay, switch legs. Again, this version is also very, very difficult because of the balance and the stabilization, because now the body you really want to stay, keep your torso straight. You don't want leaning to one side or the other. So a lot of other muscle groups will come into play in order to keep your torso straight. So this is a really, really good overall body movement for the core, for the glutes, even for the hamstrings and for the quads as well, because this quad's going to be activated here. The hamstring also acts as a stabilizer when she pushes to the top. You want to keep that foot flat on the floor. And again, go for that good, complete squeeze to the top for about a second. Focusing on the muscle group she's trying to work, which is the glutes. Looking for 15 reps total. Excellent. Come on, Keeanna. It's got a week and a half to go. Up. Squeeze. And of course, you could do these on a bench as well. She just prefers to do them on the floor. You could do it with your upper back leaning on a bench. When you get to 15, you're done. Squeeze. Good. And that's it. Great superset for the hamstrings and glutes. Okay guys, so we just finished up our workout, our bis, tris, hamstrings, a little bit of glutes. My first question for you, Keeanna, was, how was it?
Oh, it was good. You definitely feel it when you hold everything, and I felt like I had a good workout.
Yeah, good. I know that we've talked about working out together in the past because you guys actually, I do her training, I program her workouts online. So in other words, I send her workouts every single day for her to follow. This is the first time we've actually done a workout together in the gym, so it was a unique experience. And it's also a little bit different. A lot of people tell me that it's one thing to follow what I give them, but then when they have me actually directing them and making sure they're doing it exactly the way I want, you're like, oh, so I really got to hold it for 4 seconds, you know, right?
Yes, of course. I felt that.
Okay, good. So we're doing the J Cutler Classic. That's our first show of the year.
Yes.
But you have competed before. What was your first show?
My first show was in August. It was the Sin City Showdown.
And how'd you do in that show?
It was good. I felt like I, came a long way, and I did good on the show. I got first in one of the divisions, so it was very motivating. That if I keep going up, I could become something in it.
Yeah, well, I think you have a lot of potential actually, and I'm actually hoping that you do really well at J Cutler, and then maybe we could even think about something like USA's or even a bigger show later in the year. But so, how do you feel? You're about a week and a half out. First of all, how do you feel physically, mentally? Do you feel good about where you're at? Do you feel strong?
Yes, definitely feel more confident. I have a little bit more muscle mass in it. Of course, your peak weight just keep leaning out a little bit so it pops out more. But I'm very excited and yeah, I feel confident.
Awesome, great. And of course, I want to ask, what is your, where do you want to go from here? What is your future? Are you trying to go pro? Are you trying to become a professional in the fitness industry? Like, what's the goal?
Definitely to do more classes, and of course to be pro one day.
Yeah.
Definitely the goal.
Okay. Well, you did a really, really good job today. You were very focused. You did everything very, very well. All the techniques, you picked them up, very, very quickly. So you have what it takes in terms of, pushing yourself. I think that you have a really, really excellent physique, very, very balanced. And I think you're going to do really well at the show, and hopefully we could progress from there. So I want to thank you for coming here and training with us and being on Full-Time Bodybuilding TV. I'm sure we'll have you on again. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed the episode, and gals out there, I hope that there's some techniques you can pick up for your shows, whether you're doing bikini, wellness, or whatever division that you're in. I think these techniques actually can be used by anybody in the physique sports, whether you're looking to tone muscle, build muscle, lose body fat. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. We want to see you back on this channel a lot. We have a lot more coming your way. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being here.